In the unforgiving calculus of armored warfare, there are no trivial details. Every bolt is a potential point of failure, every armor panel a compromise between weight and protection, and every line of code a vulnerability that can be exploited. The margin between a decisive breakthrough and a smoldering wreck is measured in millimeters of ceramic, microseconds of data latency, and the brutal physics of a kinetic energy penetrator meeting a composite. It is within this doctrine of unforgiving margins that the ZRY222 unmanned ground combat vehicle was conceived. This is not an incremental upgrade to an existing platform, nor is it merely a tank with the crew removed. The ZRY222 is the physical manifestation of a new brutalist philosophy of ground combat. The application of overwhelming, non-expendable firepower through a platform that is, by its very nature, fully expendable. It represents a fundamental re-evaluation of the cost-benefit. For generations, the main battle tank has been a sanctuary, a mobile fortress designed with the survivability of its highly trained crew as a paramount concern. Its immense cost was justified by the pricelessness of the lives within. In stark contrast, the first generation of robotic combat vehicles, RCVs, were developed with the explicit understanding that they could be sacrificed, designed to be the expendable scouts and escorts that draw first fire and clear ambushes. The ZRY222 occupies a paradoxical and unsettling space between these two poles. It combines the advanced capabilities, sophisticated systems, and, crucially, the prohibitive cost. It presents commanders with an entirely new form of battlefield dilemma: how to wield a weapon with the tactical aggression of a cheap, disposable tool, when its loss carries the financial and strategic impact of a top-tier armored fighting vehicle. This is the central defining challenge of the ZRY222. The conceptual genesis of the platform can be traced to a series of famously dense white papers circulating within defense planning circles under the project codename Aggressor Sentinel. The name itself is a masterpiece of bureaucratic ambiguity, a classic attempt to sound simultaneously offensive and defensive. The program was born from a growing dissatisfaction with the state of both conventional and robotic armor. Main battle tanks were seen as increasingly vulnerable, their human crews a critical liability in an age of ubiquitous sensors and top-attack munitions, and their logistical footprint a significant burden on expeditionary forces. Conversely, existing RCV programs, while promising, were largely focused on lighter platforms with insufficient firepower and survivability for a true assault role. The Aggressor Sentinel mandate was to bridge this gap, to create a vehicle that possessed the lethality of an MBT without the vulnerability of a crew. The initial requirements documents were, as is often the case, monuments to unchecked ambition, describing a platform that could not only engage armored formations and provide fire support, but also, if one read between the lines, independently conduct reconnaissance. The project survived several rounds of budget cuts and the cancellation of broader RCV initiatives by positioning itself not as a revolutionary leap, but as an evolutionary inevitability. Its design philosophy was a pragmatic synthesis of observable trends, representing a point. The proven reliability of autoloaders and remote fire control systems, as seen in developmental tanks like Russia's T-14 Armata and Rheinmetall's KF-51 Panther, made the concept of a powerful unmanned turret viable. The dramatic improvements in the efficiency and power density of hybrid electric drives, a cornerstone of the American Abrams X technology demonstrator, offered a solution to the crippling fuel consumption and high signatures of traditional armor. The modular, payload-agnostic architecture pioneered by platforms like the Estonian Milrem Type X provided a template for a flexible, upgradable design. The ZRY222, therefore, emerged not from a vacuum of science fiction, but as the logical, if audacious, conclusion of a decade of parallel developments in armored vehicle technology. The resulting platform is a dense, low-slung machine built for violence. With a combat weight of 30 tons, the ZRY222 fits squarely into the conceptual RCV heavy category, a weight class intended for vehicles with direct fire capabilities comparable to manned systems. Its hull, measuring 6 meters in length and 2.9 meters in width, is a welded monocoque of a proprietary ultra-high hardness steel alloy. Designed from the ground up without the spatial and structural compromises, this crewless design allows for an exceptionally low silhouette, standing just 2.2 meters tall to the turret roof, making it a significantly smaller target than a conventional MBT like the M1 Abrams. Propulsion is provided by a sophisticated series hybrid electric drive system. A power-dense, multi-fuel diesel generator is mounted in the rear, serving not to drive the tracks directly, but to charge a large armored lithium-ion battery pack integrated into the floor of the hull. This power pack, in turn, feeds 2 high-torque electric motors that provide the final drive to the sprockets. This architecture, inspired by the systems on the Type X and Abrams X, provides numerous tactical advantages. It delivers a top road speed of 80 km/h and a cross-country speed of 50 km/h, allowing it to keep pace with mechanized formations, while offering a total operational range of 600 kilometers on internal fuel, a significant improvement over the notoriously thirsty gas turbine engines of older tanks. The most crucial benefit, however, is the creation of a signature on-demand capability. The ZRY222 can disengage its diesel generator entirely and travel for up to 30 kilometers in a silent mobility mode, running purely on its batteries. This allows the vehicle to approach enemy positions or set ambushes with a drastically reduced thermal and acoustic signature, achieving a level of tactical surprise impossible for a conventional tank whose engine noise can be detected from kilometers away. This single feature fundamentally alters the sensor-shooter dynamic, forcing a potential adversary to rely on more than just wide-area thermal or acoustic surveillance to detect an inbound threat. Mobility is further enhanced by an active hydrogas suspension system, which allows the vehicle to adjust its ground clearance and ride height, and the use of composite rubber tracks, CRTs, a feature being adopted for future MBTs to reduce noise, vibration, and maintenance requirements compared to traditional steel tracks. The ZRY222's survivability is conceived as a multi-layered onion of defensive systems, reflecting a philosophical shift away from reliance on sheer passive mass towards a more active, intelligent, and this system utilizes 4 compact solid-state phased array radar panels mounted on the corners of the hull to provide continuous 360-degree coverage. Upon detecting an incoming threat, such as an anti-tank guided missile, ATGM, or a rocket-propelled grenade, RPG, the system launches a hard-kill interceptor from one of 2 multi-azimuth. The system is specifically designed with algorithms to counter the top attack flight profiles of modern munitions like the Javelin, a direct response to the demonstrated vulnerability of tank turret roofs in recent conflicts. The third layer consists of modular panels of non-energetic reactive armor, NERA. Dubbed the choice of NERA over ERA was deliberate. It is significantly safer for any accompanying dismounted infantry, is not defeated by tandem charge warheads designed specifically to pre-detonate ERA, and can often withstand multiple impacts in the same area. The innermost and final layer is the vehicle's base armor, a modular composite array known as Ceramax-D. This combination provides an exceptionally high level of protection against both kinetic energy penetrators, which are shattered by the hard ceramics and ablated by the dense DU, and shaped charge jets, which are disrupted by the composite layers. The modular nature of the armor panels allows for easier replacement of damaged sections in the field, and this layered system creates a virtuous cycle. The vehicle's small size and low signature make it harder to detect and hit. The APS intercepts many of the threats that are launched. The NERA degrades those that get through, and the passive composite armor is left to defeat the weakened remnants. This increase is not at the heart of the ZRY222's purpose is its unmanned hammer turret system, an architecture of lethality designed to provide overmatch against any current or projected adversary. The main armament is a formidable 130mm L52 smoothbore cannon, a weapon system conceptually similar to the developmental gun for the Rheinmetall KF-51 Panther, chosen specifically to defeat the advanced armor arrays of future enemy tanks. The ammunition suite includes two primary types: an armor-piercing fin-stabilized discarding sabot, APF-SDS, round featuring a segmented tungsten penetrator designed to defeat complex and reactive armors, and a multi-purpose high-explosive airburst, HEAB, round with a programmable fuse. This HEAB round can be detonated at a specific point in space, making it highly effective against entrenched infantry, light structures, and even low-flying aerial threats like helicopters and drones. This armament is complemented by a suite of secondary and tertiary weapons that create a self-contained fire support ecosystem. A 12.7mm heavy machine gun is mounted coaxially with the main cannon for engaging unarmored targets. Mounted on the turret roof is a remote weapon station, RWS, armed with a 30mm chain gun, similar to the Mk-44 Bushmaster II found on vehicles like the Ripsaw M5 RCV. This medium-caliber weapon is invaluable for engaging enemy infantry fighting vehicles, reconnaissance assets, and critically for providing an effective counter-UAS capability. Finally, integrated seamlessly into the turret's superstructure are two pop-up pods, each containing 4 launch tubes. These tubes can be armed with a mix of non-line-of-sight NLOS munitions, such as the Hero 120 loitering munition or direct-fire anti-tank guided missiles. This capability, mirroring developments for the Abrams X and Type X platforms, allows the ZRY222 to engage targets hidden behind terrain or in urban environments, far beyond the line of sight of its direct-fire weapons. This integration of 4 distinct lethality systems, a high overmatch cannon, a medium-caliber gun, machine guns, and NLOS missiles, is made possible by the volume and weight savings of the unmanned turret. It dramatically compresses the kill chain, enabling a single ZRY222 operator to execute tasks that would traditionally require the close coordination of a tank platoon, an IFV section, and a forward observer calling for external fire support, thereby massively increasing the tactical tempo and autonomy of the unit. The ZRY222's formidable hardware is animated by an equally complex nervous system of sensors, artificial intelligence, and control interfaces, the ghost in the machine. The primary link between the vehicle and its human master is a mixed reality situational awareness system, MAR-SAS, a technology pioneered for platforms like the Type X. The remote operator, seated in a control station potentially hundreds of kilometers away, wears a headset that provides a seamless 360-degree virtual dome. This view is not simply a video feed. It is a real-time fusion of data from the vehicle's high-definition electro-optical and infrared EO/IR cameras, its LiDAR environmental mapping sensors, and tactical data overlays showing friendly positions, known threats, and navigation routes. This system is designed to overcome the soda straw view of traditional remote systems and provide the operator with an intuitive, comprehensive understanding of the battlefield. The vehicle operates on a tiered autonomy model. At its most basic level, it can be controlled via direct, low-latency teleoperation with the operator's inputs translated directly into vehicle actions. The next level is supervisory control, where the operator provides high-level commands and the vehicle's onboard AI executes them. This includes semi-autonomous functions like Follow Me mode for convoy operations, waypoint navigation across complex terrain, and an automated return-to-base protocol that activates if the primary data link is severed. The most advanced and controversial operational mode is designated Hunter Mode. In this state, the AI is authorized to maneuver the vehicle independently within a geographically and digitally defined engagement zone. It uses a sophisticated object recognition algorithm, cross-referencing data from its thermal and visual sensors, to autonomously detect, classify, and prioritize potential threats. However, it is not authorized to engage. Instead, it cues the identified targets, presenting them to the human operator with a threat-level assessment and a proposed firing solution for final approval. The practical implementation of this system has been fraught with the sort of challenges that give software engineers nightmares. The AI's threat recognition library is notoriously pedantic, occasionally flagging civilian farm tractors as low-priority armored targets due to their thermal signature and metallic mass, requiring a lengthy software patch cycle that feels more like a ritualistic appeasement of a fussy digital deity than a simple update. These teething problems highlight the profound risks of IFF, identification friend or foe errors, in a cluttered battle space, where a misidentified friendly vehicle could have catastrophic consequences. Ultimately, the true operational bottleneck for the ZRY222 is not its hardware, but the cognitive load on its single operator and the fragility of its data link. This one individual is tasked with performing the combined roles of a traditional four-person tank crew: driving, navigating, scanning for threats, commanding, and gunnery, all while simultaneously managing the AI's suggestions. This creates a massive cognitive burden that could become a critical point of failure in high-intensity combat. The entire system is predicated on the existence of a robust, high-bandwidth, and jam-resistant communications network, a tail that is both long and exceedingly fragile. In its intended battlefield role, the ZRY222 occupies a unique niche, best understood through comparison with its closest real-world analogs. When measured against the Milrem Type X, it is clear the ZRY222 is an evolution of the same core concept, but scaled up for a more demanding mission. The 12-ton Type X, typically armed with a medium-caliber autocannon, is designed as a mechanized infantry wingman, providing direct fire support to dismounted troops. The 30-ton ZRY222, with its 130mm cannon and multi-layered armor, is a mechanized spearhead designed to lead assaults and break through fortified enemy positions. Compared to the Textron Ripsaw M5, a vehicle developed for the U.S. Army's RCV medium program, the trade-offs are different. The Ripsaw is a marvel of mobility, a high-speed platform focused on scouting and escort duties for manned formations. The ZRY222 deliberately sacrifices some of the Ripsaw's extreme speed and agility for a vastly superior level of survivability and firepower, positioning it as a direct assault asset rather than a reconnaissance vehicle. The most telling comparisons are with the latest generation of main battle tanks. The Russian T-14 Armata introduced the revolutionary concept of an unmanned turret with a three-person crew isolated in an armored capsule in the hull. The ZRY222 takes this design to its logical conclusion by removing the crew capsule entirely, trading the T-14's ability for onboard command and control for a significantly lower profile, reduced weight, and the supreme tactical flexibility of a fully remote platform. Similarly, the American Abrams X technology demonstrator showcases a future path for Western MBTs with its hybrid electric drive, unmanned turret, and reduced three-person crew. The ZRY222 can be seen as what the Abrams X might become in a subsequent generation, a vehicle that fully commits to the unmanned paradigm by shedding the final vestiges of the crew compartment, along with its associated weight and complexity, to create a platform optimized purely for robotic warfare. In conclusion, the ZRY222 represents a double-edged vanguard in the evolution of ground combat. It is an undeniably potent system, a synthesis of the most advanced trends in armor, lethality, and autonomous systems. Its modular design offers a clear path for future modernization. One can easily envision its 30mm RWS being replaced by a compact directed energy weapon for drone defense, its AI core being upgraded with quantum processing, or its battery packs being swapped for next-generation solid-state technology. Yet, for all its technological magnificence, it is a deeply complex and potentially fragile system. This raises the ultimate question. Does the ZRY222 truly represent the future of armored warfare, a new paradigm of networked, crewless lethality that will render manned tanks obsolete? Or is it a glass cannon, a technologically superb but brittle platform whose absolute dependence on perfect networks, unjammable data links, and cognitively overloaded operators makes it a high-cost gamble in an era of asymmetric low-tech counters? The struggles of Russia's T-14 Armata program, bogged down by the complexity of its advanced electronics, serve as a stark cautionary tale about the perils of overambition. The ZRY222's greatest strength, its technological sophistication, is simultaneously its greatest vulnerability. It is a system optimized for a high-tech, network-centric battlefield, which makes it potentially brittle against an adversary who refuses to fight on those terms, employing simple GPS jammers or broad-spectrum electronic warfare to sever the vehicle's lifeline to its operator. The effective deployment of the ZRY222 necessitates a parallel investment in and dominance of the enabling domains of cyberspace and the electromagnetic spectrum. Without control of that invisible battlefield, the ZRY222 is not an asset, but a 30-ton liability. The final answer as to its place in military history will not be found in technical specifications or doctrinal papers, but only in the unforgiving crucible of combat.